Hello my fellow Tenno, this is Fen with Warframe Unabridged, and today we are going to take one alternate kind of look at Nyx. I'm calling this the etymology series, more or less, where after each series I'm going to take a look at who the character is, where they come from, the etymology of their name, or the characteristics of their abilities, or their just their namesake, their inspiration. And I'm just going to kind of put it out there for everybody, because a lot of people don't really know where a lot of the warframes, or even their weapons, or anything like that actually comes from. Now for Nyx herself, she is inspired by one of the baddest asses in all of Greek mythology. Okay, I'm just going to put it out there. Nyx, straight up, terrified Zeus. Okay. And for good reason, alright? So, in taking a look at all of the people that she spawned, okay, and this is, I don't know if you want to take this as allegorical or whatever. Obviously, it's a mythos, it's a mythology, and it's not intended to be literal in any fashion, but I'm more referring to the themes, okay? And you'll start to see what I'm talking about here in a minute. Now, with Erebus, darkness, the god of darkness, we see that Nyx gives birth to all of these different domains, which are just ridiculously powerful. Now, first is Aether, which is brightness, the goddess of brightness, and Hemera, the goddess of day. Okay, so it's kind of interesting, the theological ramifications that night gives birth to day. Okay, darkness gives birth to light, so on and so forth. Later on, Nyx gives birth to Moros, which is doom and destiny, or Kur, that's destruction and death, okay? All of these different domains springing forth from her. Then there's Thanatos, which is also a god of death. Hypnos, a god of sleep. Onoroi, which is dreams. Momus, which is blame. Oasis, which is pain and distress. She even wound up being the one to actually spawn forth the Morai, or the Hesperides, which is the Fates. Now, there's actually a lot more too. Strife, old age, friendship, deceit, indignation, and retribution. Her spawn has power over all of these things, and it's just such a really cool feature. But what's even cooler is she isn't just a standard Greek goddess. She wasn't like a daughter of Hera or anything. She was born from chaos. She was born from the void. Essentially, they're saying she just existed one day. Because in the Greek cosmology, chaos is basically just nothingness. It refers to the formless or void state preceding the chaos of the universe and the cosmos. Which is interesting because that could imply that she was around before the creation of the cosmos. So that's just something that I personally find to be very intriguing. This chick is just so powerful, it's ridiculous. So moving along to more recent history, we're actually going to take a look at the visual inspiration, I guess you could say. So, Nyx, originally, her name was Jade, and you can definitely see that with a lot of the colors that are coming in. But what's kind of cool is originally she was intended to be a result of, she was intended to be basically a female Excalibur, from what I understand. The prototype Nyx was practically identical to Excalibur, coming directly from the wiki, with the only major difference being the body shape. Now, Nyx actually was, her physical design and her helmet, or at least the basic guidelines behind it, are a result from Nadia Sudek's Nemesis armor from Dark Sector. Okay, so I think this is all pretty cool. DE really likes to keep it close to home. You know, they're they're paying homage to what has come before, and that's a really respectful way to approach things. You know what I'm saying? Now, in looking at her alternate equipment, we don't really know where it was. I mean, aside from probably sticking close to the basic model design of the of the original Nemesis inspiration. Vespa itself, I couldn't tell you what they were trying to model it after, other than just being really, really ugly. Personal preference, I guess. But the Vespa, the term, is a Roman goddess of hearth and home, which is really kind of out there and doesn't really fit the theme very well. Now, Menticide seems more like it's not paying homage to anything. It's essentially just talking about, death of the brain. Menticide, like herbicide kills plants or whatever. I don't know. So eventually they kind of start getting away from the original themes and stuff. But ultimately, Nyx is just a really cool character with some really rich history. And I hope to find equally compelling and interesting and awesome histories for all of the rest of the Warframes. And so I'd like it if you came along with me and looked into some of these things. Maybe you could tell me if I missed something. I'd appreciate it if you included it in the comments. Well, that is pretty much it for today, folks. Thank you so much for coming on by, and thank you so much for going on this journey with me. I really appreciate that you're going down this road and you're excited about the characters and where they came from and all of that jazz. Now, if you happen to like the video, then go ahead and like the video. If you happen to particularly enjoy this content, then go ahead and subscribe for more. We'll be around. Until then, stay safe, Tenno.